Hello and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, bandits attack barracks at Nigerian Defense Academy, kill 2 officers and abduct 1. Resident doctors remain adamant despite court order to suspend strike, as Governor Sanwo-Olu says 1,094 returning travelers from red-listed countries abscond from COVID-19 isolation. And later on the show, court restrained Uche Secondus from parading himself as PDP national chairman. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Dotun Oladipo. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. And bandits in Nigeria are getting more daring, following an attack on what can be considered as the home of the military in the country. Some gunmen attacked the residential area of the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, in Kaduna this Tuesday morning. Now, they killed 2 officers and abducted 1, but how long will this insecurity last? Babajide, we know we've been talking about Kaduna. Now, we used to talk about town, we used to talk about, outside town. Now they've gone into a military formation. Now, if you go to a place in Zaria, they call Depot NA. If you know Depot NA, you know Nigerian Defense Academy. If bandits are, emboldened to perpetrate their acts in places that ordinarily people will say these are restricted areas. Now, I don't know what kind of security we hope to get in the country.
Well, I will say that I'm ashamed that this has happened. I'm ashamed for my country that this has happened. Not because it's a new thing for bandits or Boko Haram to overrun a military base. That has happened many times, including even super camps. They've been overrun. But that had happened largely in the northeast, and I think on 1 or 2 occasions in Niger State, where bandits overrun a military barracks and set it a military base and set it ablaze. That was in April this year in Niger State. But for it to happen in Kaduna is particularly not just strange, but unacceptable. The one div headquarters, the cost of commuting from one div headquarters to the NDA is just 100 naira. That's to tell you that it's not far. Yet, we could not mobilize reinforcement to go and deal decisively with those bandits. Before now, bandits entered the Command and Staff College in Jaji and stole cattle of soldiers. Soldiers had cattle. They were grazing within that military formation, the Command and Staff College. They took away the soldiers' cattle. When that happened earlier this year, I said,
so the fear factor is not there.
What is going on? You go into a place where they train our middle cadre officers. Middle cadre officers are among the most no-nonsense officers that you will find in the armed forces. You go to the place where they train them and stole their cattle. We know you are cattle rustlers, but to go and do it inside the military facility, it happened this year. So now, you could say the NDA is not really a military formation. It's not an army base. It's just a training facility. But that is not an excuse.
Well, they are training officers.
Yes.
Future officers.
Yes, but that is now, cadets, some of them are as young as 16 years, some of them graduate at 20, 21. So they are not primed for battle. They are not ready to fight. Even the officers are never prepared for battle. They merely simulate training, what you find, they take them into the bush, and the back of NDA, the whole area is exposed. Now, for you to have allowed that to happen, it shows that we don't have security. The Afaka, the Forestry College, is just adjacent NDA. It happened they came to Afaka, carted away students. The airport area, Bandits went there and overran the Air Force, the quarters, the aviation workers' quarters, took some of them away. That whole area, that whole Mando area, full of forests, and attacks had been happening in that place. That should tell you that, look, these guys could come to NDA, but in Nigeria, we simply wait for them to attack, and then we say we are running after them, we are combing the bush for them. In asymmetry warfare, there is no such thing as defined lines of battle. No such thing. It can happen anywhere, and you should be ready. It's not like conventional warfare that, okay, these are the enemy lines. No. In asymmetry warfare, there's no such thing as defined enemy lines. The enemy can come to you at any time. In any case, if we do not take the battle to them, they are ready to take it to us. That is what asymmetry warfare is about. So we just expose these young people to unnecessary death in the hands of bandits. And for bandits who came around 1 a.m., now we are talking about we are chasing them. It's the normal Nigerian thing. When we write press releases, we say that you will not read anything again after that. You won't read about arrest. You won't read about the rescue of those people. No, that is the way we are.
It's ridiculous when you see things like this and you want to know that. I was asking Jide earlier, I asked Jide earlier that, how about this fear factor? If you are talking about a mobile policeman, if you want to, if anything wants to happen, there's a level of respect from the normal policeman you see wearing black and black when you say mobile policeman, and there's another level of respect when it comes to this is a military guy.
Information. Well, I think,
and for these people to have the effrontery, I don't know.
I think we lost it long ago. We've spoken here on this program about taking the battle to the military. And it was clearly said that we have lost it completely. Because it has happened before, so they already know it can happen again. And that's what has simply happened. I think in all of this, the only thing I found a bit positive that has happened today is that for the first time in a long while, we are getting some level of information shortly after the thing happened. Before, even the statement that we got, we wouldn't have gotten it. And it is saddening that we are being told that as after these people got into that military community, they were still there. Saying that, and then the military is telling us they are trying to mobilize to go and look for them. I mean, it doesn't. Two things I saw there. The word breaching. They said they breached the NDA. What happened? Meaning that, like BKO said, no fence around that formation. And these are things that have always come up. You have your airports where there is supposed to be security. It is not fenced. So you have cattle coming in, you have criminals entering the airports from all those areas. Why do we leave things until when something negative happens? Because it's a big question. That's one. And two, like BKO said, when you look at the whole of Kaduna, which was the fear some in the south raised, it's like a complete military state. Virtually everything is there. And all of them are just in the same area. If it has taken us hours for us to react to this, then I'm wondering what will happen in other states where you don't have such, assemblage of military formation. What will happen? So if till now, we are still saying this man that they took away, an officer, you have not been able to find him. then we shouldn't be surprised that when students go, we won't be able to find them. We won't be able to. So if that fear for the military by the bandits, it's gone.
Oh,
It's gone.
People should stop. It's civilians, it's unarmed civilians, who fear the army. Nigerians should stop thinking that bandits who had taken on the army in the past, slaughtered soldiers, Boko Haram who have taken on the army, took over their bases, destroyed super camps.
Exactly.
Will fear. The issue of fear is not there anymore.
For them.
Bandits killed 18 soldiers in one day in Shimfida, in Jibia local government of Katsina. I've said that repeatedly because it is the truth. What did we do? We did not even avenge the killing of those guys. No. So why would they fear them? Look at what Tuji said when his father was arrested by our armed forces. He said, "Why are you arresting my father? Maybe you know where I am. Why didn't you come for me?" There's a level of confidence that a bandit will have to say, "Why didn't you come for me?"
Because
you understand? It's very annoying. Why did you go for my father? He was very angry. That why didn't you come for me? Is it my father that offended you? No. If that whole area, even the rail terminal, that whole area, they have launched attacks in that whole area. If they can bring attack to opposite NDA, and it's on record that they took away those students. They came to the airport. The whole of that airport, it is full of forest. The back of the airport, everywhere forest. They came repeatedly. They've attacked the airport, and they are all in this same area. Why didn't we think that a day could come when these boys will tell themselves that, look, even if we try to enter this NDA, what will happen? If we come prepared, we can enter. That's the mind that they sometimes have, that look, how many people are guiding that place? If we bring 300 fighters and all of them have AK-47 or AK-49, we can overrun them. That's how they think. So the issue of fear is not there. This is not a soft target. We always deceive ourselves that they can come only for soft targets. Record shows that they do not attack soft targets alone. People can take the battle to super camps. It's on record that super camps have been overrun.
Even military bases.
Military bases, super camps, they've been overrun. So if they can do that, why do we now relax, believing that no, they can't come to NDA? They know that the cadets there and even their instructors, they are never primed for battle because it's just simulated battle that they teach them. Even the weapons, to confront them, if they were to land at NDA, they will not be readily available. So all these attacks, they don't just carry out these attacks, they think. And there is every reason to believe that sometimes they even use people from within. Talking about the president, they said that their perimeter wall was breached. So that suggests that they broke the wall and entered the NDA. It's painful that Kaduna can have, no, even the NAF base. NAF base is not far from that area.
Officers are not
because when they started hearing gunshots, some of them will come out to wonder what's going on. Those ones who are then fired at. The story that there was a gun battle, I don't know. There are some things that is difficult to talk about. When the enemy catches you by surprise, this is a classic case of surprise. 1 a.m. the enemy launches an attack in an area that had never in our history been attacked. Then, how many people will be ready? If you go to maybe Baga, for example, you are a soldier, you are posted to Baga, you know that you should be ready for a fight. If you are posted to Marte, in fact, if they don't bring fight to you that day, you know you are lucky. Because these are areas where they always go to. Yes, all of those areas, Gaidam, Babangida, Buniyadi, Bunigeri, all of those areas, they are Ogoniri. They are areas where attacks always happen. But NDA, if somebody woke me up to say, look, I just had a dream, NDA will be attacked, I will say, you are lying. This is a bad dream. But it's embarrassing to our country, and it underlines the fact that we need to crush these people.
I think you have Ima from Niger State. From Owerri, that's in Imo State.
Yes.
Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for calling back, Ima.
Hello, Babajide, how are you?
I'm fine, Emma.
Yes, it's been a while. We thank God for relative peace now in nowhere. Remember the last time I called you was when we were hiding around our own bunker.
We thank God for that.
Yeah.
So you can move around freely now.
No,
It's not necessarily moving around like Mondays. People are with cautious optimism, a peace in the graveyard. You don't know who is following you. It's what we're facing in the country. But honestly, you know, when you guys are speaking sometimes, it's as if this is sound funny. Do you know Nigerians have gone to the level of asking for visa to go to Afghanistan, and it's not funny?
So go and do what in Afghanistan?
You will leave. They just want to get out. I'm telling you the truth. It's not about doctors and today and Saudi Arabia. That's what is happening in Abuja. In thousands, in droves.
Thousands.
I don't know who is watching. I don't know who is seeing. The people are seeing the place as a failed state. And yes, Afghanistan and whatever, they feel more secure. Some of them.
Well, this might be a kind of exaggeration because I don't know. We see Afghanistan every day and we know that Nigeria never be anything close to Afghanistan.
No, but there will be Nigerians here. There will be Nigerians.
I know,
but to say they are living in droves.
Now, for that,
that's
leaving Nigeria to go to
in droves. In droves.
Right now.
In droves might be a bit exaggerated.
Exaggerated. It's not as bad as that. Man, this should be a kind of wake-up call to the guys in charge of those military installations, wherever the army authorities, just like breaching the Pentagon.
Yeah, well, for the way I see it is this: it's a whole setup we need to look at. Now, we're having fights on several fronts. We are doing external battle. We are doing internal. We are not only doing it in one part of the country, we are doing it in virtually all parts of the country. And we begin to ask ourselves, even monitoring all these military formations, do we even have enough soldiers to do so? Because, like Biko said, when some group of people wake up somewhere and they go to a place with 300 men, fully armed, and you have only 4-10 people
to overwhelm you,
trying to confront them, then it's simply unreasonable to think it's going to happen. And there are two things we've always said. One, there must be intelligence gathering. For 300 people to move from a particular spot to that NDA, it's major.
There should even be CCTV
So
by which you can track
monitoring.
movement. Track movement and then respond
Because
quickly.
If like 300 people should get in somewhere and only 10-20 people confronting them, I don't see how they are going to succeed.
even around the perimeter of
yes,
that
even around.
area.
You should be able to see them before they
Before
see
they-
well ahead.
Well ahead. Because like we said, if they had seen them well ahead, maybe 10-15 minutes
They
before
will
getting
have
there,
mobilized
and
to
there's
yes,
mobilization,
mobilized.
it would have worked.
Okay, Lekon is calling us from Oshobo in Osun State. Oh, I think we lost Lekon.
Network is bad. And then the second thing is this. We still need to work on the number of soldiers that we have. They are still too few for the number of battles we are doing now. We are fighting in the northeast. We are doing so in the northwest.
Several other states.
Plateau is there. In Plateau today, there have been killings that involved a top commander of the police. In Kogi yesterday, 2 policemen were shot at a checkpoint. All like that. Meaning that those...
Zongo, Kataf, all of those,
yes.
South Kaduna, killings.
Meaning that those that we are battling, they need some level of superior firepower, not what even the police or civil defense can provide. So if we now have all our men thinly spread out, then we are open to such attacks.
Since 2009 that we've been faced with internal crisis and everything, I think the level of intake should have increased more than the normal intake that they have both in the military and the police force.
Is for years we did not even recruit at all. So it's not even a question of scaling up the number of recruits. We did not recruit at all for years.
So the gap remember,
yes, because people leave, people retire from the army, people get dismissed, people get killed.
Every year, every day,
people
every
get
month.
killed. So you have to replace people. And you are in a situation in which you did not even do any form of recruitment for years. So what are we talking about? It's the same thing with the police. For years they did not recruit. And people are leaving.
Kike Lomo Afolabi is calling us from Lekki. I think we're having... Okay. She's gone. Keep trying, please.
It's the same situation in the police. And when they then decided, okay, let us bring in people between the Police Service Commission and the police management, they could not agree. They took each other to court. You know?
In the court now.
Yes. So
to decide who should be responsible.
It's a problem that I would describe as self-inflicted. Because why wouldn't we, for a long time we thought, oh, the army, we are at peace. It was IBB, General Babangida, that said you don't need a large army in peacetime. He then came and cut down the number of troops that we had. This same country went to Liberia, went to Sierra Leone to enforce peace. Bring peace to those countries by force. Went to Lebanon, United Nations interim force in Lebanon. Nigeria committed troops. Nigeria committed troops to Angola, different countries of the world. Now within our own country, we can't make peace happen. We are now bandits and ragtag scoundrels. They are now holding us by the jugular in our country.
Bringing down our aircrafts.
Yes, they bring down our aircraft, shooting down our aircraft 2 times. So the question is, where then do we go from here? These are very, very bad signals. These are bad signs. When a country begins to fail, these are some of the signs that you begin to see. Because these individuals who are holding us to ransom, people like Dogo Gide and others who are asking for 700 million ransom for one operation, where did they come from? We don't even need to know where they come from. All we should be interested in is sending them to their maker. Now, all of those leaders of the bandit group, we have not succeeded in killing them. The ones that are dead are the ones that were killed by their own colleagues.
Group crisis.
Yes, Dogo Gide killed Buhari Ndaji. Daudawa, who had renounced banditry with the Quran, he didn't know that it will catch up with him. He went back into the forest. After you swore with the Quran, that you will not do it again. Immediately he got to the forest, his rival shot him and killed him. Maybe if his rival had not killed him, we would not have killed him.
Same thing with Shekau.
Yes, Shekau took his own life. He took his own life. So it's terrible what we are going through, but it just reinforces the need for vigilance. Don't say NDA cannot be attacked. Wait for it. You'll be ready for it.
I think we must get reaction. We're expecting reaction from the military. I don't know, because
they've reacted because this news came out quickly, and some of the people who were posting it actually it was security information that they were posting. It was security. I don't know how some Nigerians got hold of the C-trap and they were posting it. So immediately I knew that the army had no choice. They would come out to say, yes, this is what happened.
Speaking itself was shocking, because for days they would keep denying even the obvious.
This is an unusual one. This is an unusual one.
Very unusual.
Maybe because it happened in an urban center. When things like this happen in the forest, in the bushes of the northeast, you can control the narrative. You understand? But if it happens in the heart of town, and there are civilians who are instructors, NDA, you can go to NDA for your own masters or anything. There are civilians living inside that place. So it's difficult to manage information with civilians there. The civilians will provide the information to other people. So this one, they had no choice. They had to come out to admit that, yes, we suffered this setback, but we are doing something about it. That is what we want to see. When you suffer the setback, manage the information in a way that will make Nigerians to say, yes, our people are truthful.
Yeah.
Let's back them. In future, they won't allow this to happen again. But don't say it didn't happen. Because we are in a global image, people have information.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. If you're still watching us, this is Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from TVC News. Now, striking resident doctors in Nigeria are adamant in the face of a ruling by the National Industrial Court ordering them to suspend their strike. While the federal government hailed the verdict, the National Association of Resident Doctors says it is yet to be served with the court papers. Hence, the strike will continue. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has raised an alarm that 1,094 travelers from red-listed countries have absconded from COVID-19 isolation. Governor Sanwo-Olu says they are directly putting the rest of the country at risk of unending waves of the pandemic. Let's share the governor's story with you.
The test positivity rate, which measures how many tests are returning positive, is growing in number. Out of every 100 tests conducted, 12 returned positive, compared to 1.1% at the end of June 2021 and 7% at the end of July 2021. Also, in this third wave alone, 135 deaths have been recorded. These have emerged on account of non-adherence to the laid-down health protocols.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
And that is why Governor Sanwo-Olu is not keeping quiet. One of the major pillars of the state's mitigation strategy for the third wave is vaccination.
From Wednesday, on the 25th, we'll commence the vaccination at over 150 centers across the state. We'll also ensure that administration of this vaccine is based solely on appointments. The registration can be done online using the federal government vaccination portal, which is at nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng.
Lagos State has received its allocation of 299,992 doses of the Moderna vaccine on the 18th of August and set to roll out. No doubt that the confidence of people over the vaccination have dropped drastically due to reports that some fully vaccinated people have not just contracted the virus, but have reportedly died. But Governor Sanwo-Olu maintained that vaccinations plays a critical role of life-saving and to fight COVID-19.
In everything, there will still be a 0.something%, that will be off the track. And that's the kind of thing that we've noticed, right? So, and it's everywhere in the world. But we've seen, especially, and the data is there to prove that in countries where they've done extensive vaccination, the amount of positivity has gone down significantly.
Mr. Governor emphasized that passengers from red-listed countries like India, South Africa, Brazil, and Turkey are still required to observe a mandatory isolation.
The Moderna vaccine is a two-dose vaccine, just like the AstraZeneca that was deployed during the first phase of vaccination. Now, people that have taken AstraZeneca as their first jabs cannot mix it up with Moderna as their second jab. Vaccination remains free in Nigeria. The Lagos State government's goal is to vaccinate 60% of its residents in good time. Adedoja Salama Deniyi, TVC News, Lagos.
Today, let's start with the striking doctors. Now, the federal government, they've decided to, okay, let's withdraw from the negotiation table and let's go to the National Industrial Courts. And if the National Industrial Courts is ordering the resident doctors to suspend their strike, and they're saying they're yet to be served, or after getting this order, I'm sure in the next 24, 48 hours, they will be served. They have an obligation to go back. Is that to work or negotiation table?
Well, Labour has a history of refusing to obey especially when it makes up its mind to strike. Labour has a history of refusing to listen to the industrial court. Oshiomhole did it many times. Yeah. Oshiomhole, even the middle past leader of Labour, because government moved, if you remember the last strike by Labour, government moved quickly to block that strike at the last minute by going to the industrial court. But Labour insisted that no, it was going to continue a strike. And by the time they went on strike, they got some concession, no matter how little. Strike is the only language that Nigerian officials understand. And there is a sense that sometimes the industrial court can be used to take away that right. Labour has the right to go on strike. It's one of the weapons available to Labour. Strike is one of the weapons, and it is a legal weapon. Legal. All over the world, it is admitted that you can go on strike as long as you serve the notice, and that notice is not too short, so they can go on strike. But in our country, sometimes at the last minute, you have not done what you have they have asked you to do. You then will proceed to the industrial court and get an injunction. It's an injunction that we are talking about now. It's not really that, okay, Labour, I mean, in this case, the resident doctors have been found to have infringed on any law. It's an injunction. You can't just stop people from exercising their rights. Yesterday, I was looking at I even showed Engineer Ni. The Saudi Arabians have come here. The Saudis, they've come to Nigeria. Yeah. They are looking for consultants, senior people. It is in Abuja that they are going to conduct that test. They are not looking for junior doctors anymore. It's the very senior, the experience. Yes, that they want. And when they listed the areas where they want specialists, I said, who will be left? There are so many
Nigerian doctors in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, it has been for years.
Many hall. That's where they will gather to tell you there's a large crowd that they're expecting. They want to do tests for people.
And to even tell you that they are also not expecting to recruit low quality people.
No, they said consultants. They mentioned it. Senior people.
It should tell you that they are going to go.
Now, for that fact that the industrial court has ruled again or has issued this injunction and that has been disobeyed before, should we make it right for these people to continue their strike?
Well, it doesn't make it right. Let's
the court should be the court.
Let's agree on that. But like BKO said, something is certain here. The only language we appear to understand in this country is strike. I think it's good. Let me read what the president of the Nigerian Medical Association said on this strike. He said, the problem we face is that when agreements are signed, everybody goes to sleep. So there is distrust among workers. And it is not good for the country because we expect that those who work for our president should be truthful, honest, and should comply with agreements. It is the same issue we have been having.
The same with ASU.
The same with ASU. So what I see in all of this, if you ask me, is that this government especially thrives more on talking than on the action. So they put in people who have sugar-coated mouth. Somebody like Ngige, Chris Ngige, the minister of, I think it was purposely put there, so that when he comes out of a meeting, he can bamboozle the whole country. And then at the end of the day, what happens?
Dish out threats.
Yes, nothing happens. He just comes and talks for hours, and then nothing happens. Before you sign an agreement, you should be able to plan. If I'm promising you 1 naira, I should
be able to go back to say,
do you have the funds to manage?
Yes, I should even have a projection. Let us assume I don't even have it. There should be a projection that this is going to come in. And when it comes in, nobody in that setup, because when you go for these meetings, you always have people from budget office, you have from Ministry of Finance, you have from, all of them are there. So if they are there and then somebody says, I'm going to block this because of this, and you have already agreed with somebody, a promise is a debt. You don't promise people what you, if indeed, like it happened on some occasions, the workers can clearly see that this government is working towards this thing and not just mouthing it. There will be some concession. But this is a matter of this thing is not even available.
Don't forget they even called off the last one.
Yes.
They called it off.
And then
they suspended the strike. They suspended the strike on April 10. Since April 10, we have done nothing.
Now.
There were promises made that we refused to fulfill. In the case of ASU, ASU had 8 demands. Out of the 8 demands, that was in December.
In December of
out of
2020.
The 8, yes, out of the 8 demands, we have only met 2. That
partially, not fully.
That is the issue of visitation panels to universities.
Fully.
Yes, and then the issue of salary adjustment. I mean, a backlog of unpaid salary. They met those 2.
But some are still complaining that backlog, there are still names.
So there are still 6 demands that you did not touch. Now those ones 2 are threatening strike.
I have Raji from Ikorodu.
Yeah, AYO, good evening, please.
Good evening, Raji.
Regards to DKO and Saturday there.
Okay.
Please, one thing I will have, there are 2 issues. Are you with me?
Yes, go ahead.
2 issues. One is concerning this insecurity. Yoruba says, I want to believe that there are informants from among Nigerians who are giving these people information.
Yes.
That's one. And unless we go the way the Emir of Muri has done, we will not be able to. Mayati, they know them. We should hold Mayati to feed them out for us. That's one. Secondly, concerning this doctor strike, I don't know why people are playing with our lives for crying out loud. The lawmakers, those who are up there, they don't attend government-owned hospital for crying out loud. These doctors are there. You know how important people's lives are. These are the simple that when the time for election comes, you expect them to come and queue in the sun and the rain to vote for people to make you comfortable. Now the time has come for you to make them comfortable, you refuse to.
Thank you, Raji.
If I was a doctor, for example, working in Abia State, and one of the demands that we made was that my 19-month salary should be paid. And nobody is even talking about that one. They are not even talking about it.
At all.
Now, will I feel comfortable to simply go back to work? So what have you gained?
Nothing.
Pressure was piled on judiciary and legislative workers. They stood firm. They said no.
Too soon.
In this country, a president issued an executive order. The governors went to him after issuing the executive order and told him, don't gazette it. They made sure that it was not implemented. It took strike.
Yeah.
It took strike by judiciary workers. They locked everywhere. Even Supreme Court, they refused to open. It took strike for them now to say, okay, we agree. We are now going to give autonomy to the legislative arm of government as well as the judiciary. So that's to tell you that unless you go on strike, nobody will
listen to
anything about your demands.
In spite of this strike and in spite of the fact that all is not well with our health sector, some irresponsible travelers, I'll say, 1,094 from the red listed countries have absconded.
Are we sure that is the whole number?
There could be more than that. There should be more than that.
Because you see, clearly we know that the way we handle issues of statistics in this country is poor. Last year, I have someone who came in from the UK. He went back this year. And a few days after, fortunately or unfortunately for him, he went out of his gate. Then those who came to check were at his door. And they called him. Where are you?
In Nigeria here?
In the UK.
Oh.
Went back. And he went out of his gate.
People came to check.
They were monitoring
the neighborhood. And then he called, where are you? He said, I'm just outside the gate. Are you supposed to be outside the gate? The next time you try it, you're going to be in trouble.
I'm going to jail.
He didn't go
it's here in Nigeria that people can do those things.
So we shouldn't.
It's here in Nigeria.
We make it look like as if these things are rocket science. They're not.
How is it enforced in other places that we can't enforce it? How does Rwanda do it?
Just out of his gate.
You are not even going to be allowed to stay in the hotel of your choice in Rwanda. You won't. You won't. Whether you come for tourism or you will not go to the hotel of your choice. There are designated hotels that they will put you. You will not choose a driver, your own favorite driver. They will give you the taxi that will take you around, and you will not go out until they subjected you to a test.
I thought they were like shortlisting and blacklisting some passport numbers. At the point in time that if you...
No, they were boasting that, look, this thing, that they are going to, some people, we have their own passports. What we are seeing is a case of people getting away with blue murder in our country. What you are supposed to do, you refuse to do, and the system will not catch you. That's what we are seeing. The governor said absconded.
Because there is no
that means they've escaped. They will escape with their passports, they will escape. It's in our country that people will, for just a few words of naira notes, people who allow others to endanger the lives of the rest of us. I mean, it makes no sense. When there was curfew, we saw people here in Lagos going to nightclubs, and they were arrested. If it was in UK or Italy, they would not dare it. They won't dare it.
They won't even go out.
It's in our country that people come and trample on our laws.
It's not even hidden again now. Families of some prominent Nigerians that we've lost some other people.
Many of them.
They are coming out to say, look, this person died of COVID-19.
Yes, like at least the Faweme family now, they admitted it.
Yes,
that was what killed them.
Was the one that spoke on behalf.
Even the latest one,
yes.
The family of Senator Duruja said, be aware, be cautious. There is COVID.
No. And some people died outrightly in the isolation center.
Yes.
Like the senator last week.
Even the figure that was given by the governor of the number of people who have died so far. If you move a bit back, the commissioner said, was it last week? That about 500. That was the figure he gave. Meaning that outside this third wave, if we look at it for a few months now, it's over 500.
All right.
We're going to go that way.
And finally on the show today, the crisis rocking the main opposition, People's Democratic Party, PDP, is getting messier. A high court in Rivers State has restrained the embattled Uche Secondus from parading himself as the national chairman of the PDP. The court also barred Secondus from performing the functions of the national chairman of the party or calling, attending, and presiding over any meeting of the party. That restraining order was gotten from a River State High Court. Babajide, this is like part 4 of the crisis within the People's Democratic Party. And we predicted it that, look, and we've also followed the logic that, if the convention is October or November, that they should allow the man to preside over the convention and he will not contest and he will leave. But I think Governor Nyesom Wike he has his own agenda and he's bent that Secondus must leave.
I don't know. You know, I was surprised that I didn't use the courts before now. Because he's a man who likes to use the court a lot.
He's a lawyer?
He's a lawyer. His wife is a high court judge. So I'm not surprised. He's fighting. He has brought fight to Secondus' door. So he's making it clear to him that, look, I will fight you with everything.
Told you.
I will fight you with everything that I've got. You called me Father Christmas. I will fight you with everything. That's what he's telling Secondus indirectly. But the other leaders of the party have already
maybe he thought
said,
he could use the political means before removing him. That's why he didn't go to courts, as in convincing other party leaders.
He does not want to even see him at meetings. You know, the other day he went for he does not want to see him at meetings anymore. But the truth is, all Secondus needs to do is to go to a court in Abuja, get a court in Abuja to vacate the order. You know? So, ultimately, they have a choice.
To go back to another court.
And then he will go to another one until maybe they get to Supreme Court and Supreme Court to make his final decision. I don't know whether he's trying to lure him gradually to Supreme Court. I don't know what really is going
because
through
this order is clear now. The court has barred Secondu from performing the functions of national chairman or calling himself, attending or presiding any meeting that has to do with
This was
the
how
party.
Oshomale's own started. This is how it started. He was told to not parade himself as chairman. They went on. Later on, it was thought that a political solution was what they needed, and it was eventually advised to resign, and he had to throw in the towel. Maybe Wike thinks that he can eventually force him to resign using the courts and using other means possible, because I thought that by moving their convention to October, that they had satisfied him in a way, because he was tired of seeing him as chairman. So he couldn't wait.
Is he the owner of the party?
He couldn't wait up till November. So they now brought it closer. Brought it
This
closer.
is the governor. It's not even the president.
But it's not. He's not ready. He's the number one financier of the party. So he assumes that he owns the party. So the truth is, members of the PDP are the ones who can remove this man, and it is only at the convention that he can be removed. That's what the law says. So now these are is going arm twisting tactics, trying to get Secondus to resolve to just throw in the towel, you know. And I don't know how long. By his nature, he doesn't give up easily.
No,
and so Secondus knows that he's up for the battle. He's up for the battle. So how he's going to get survive this? Well, the answer is blowing in the wind.
Unfortunately for the PDP, unlike the APC that has a president, there is no known head now for the PDP. It's just a struggle for power among equals. Unfortunately, also, Wike doesn't seem to have the majority backing him. A few hours after that pronouncement,
He's acting as if he owns the party.
Yes, two people are already laying claim to the chairmanship. Now, already. One has declared himself chairman, and a few hours after, one says, "I am the chairman."
Same thing happened.
So it's all going to end up in the same place. The man who would have helped them, Atiku Abubakar, has not, in my own opinion, taken a position. Because we can say, okay, fine, he has been a former vice president, so perhaps they'll be willing to listen to him.
No, Wike will not listen to
But a man like Wike will not.
Secondus had a meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes, a man like Wike will not. He won't even listen to Obasanjo.
Wike will not listen to us.
Because we won't even say Obasanjo is no longer a member of the PDP. He isn't, technically, a member of that party. So who resolves this issue?
No, people like
who resolves?
They still have people like IBB, people like Guso, who are still
the background.
They respect them. They take decisions, big decisions, and all that. So I don't know whether those ones will be readily available to step in, you know. But Atiku's interest is clear. Atiku wants Atiku and Saraki want
the tickets.
No, want this person to continue.
Okay, yes.
Then even Tambua too said that, look, that the Secondus should continue. But Tambua is Wike's friend, and Wike supported him during the last presidential primaries of the party. So we don't even know we don't fully know where Tambua stands on this matter. Will he be ready to go against his friend? No one is sure. But Wike is trying to get him to realize that, look, this battle has not ended. He does not want, and I said it last week, he does not want Secondus to preside over the NEC meeting, where those who will sit in the electoral panel
for the convention,
for the convention, will be nominated. He does not want that, because once he's able to do that, he can appoint his own loyalists, and it will make life difficult for Wike. So that's what, if he can get him out of the way before that convention, I mean before even the next meeting that they will have before the election, he will have achieved his aim. Perhaps that is what is planning.
That is what is happening now.
Something should be done about these people running to court. Okay, there's crisis in Anambra. Somebody went to Jigawa High Court to go and get one order. Another person. At the end of the day, you see that a political party, they will be parading like 4, 5, 6, 7 court cases, and that was what happened to the All Progressive, the Oshoma-led All Progressive Congress.
Unfortunately,
before the president asked people not to go to court again.
All the warnings by the National Judicial Commission and the Chief Justice of the Federation, nothing has happened. The Chief Justice of Nigeria has spoken on it. The NJC has warned that, see, where you know that you don't have jurisdiction, don't preside. But this thing keeps happening.
Yes,
it keeps happening. How we are going to overcome that, I don't know. If you go back, you will see that a lot of judges have been sanctioned over this sort of matter.
See, corruption is at the root.
It's still
for a private judge. I'll give
happening.
you one injunction like that.
It's still happening, and that is why between the political class and the judiciary, there is always this friendship that shouldn't be. Governors building houses for judges. Judges running to governors for funding.
Even they are attending parties for governors' parties.
You know, attending their parties.
I saw a judge attending a party by a governor. I said, ordinarily, a judge should not be there. They are supposed to be heard, not seen. But things are changing in our country. He showed up. I said, look at this judge.
You know? The party for a governor is holding. So it's a bit complicated.
Thank you for your contribution, Dr. Oladipo.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution today. And BKO, thank you for always being there. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcasts of the program today at 11, and don't forget to join us on Sunday 11:30 p.m., 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We're on youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.